Alright, after taking a bit of a break, I'm ready to do some more JWA. And as I'm basically recording all day, preparing for videos for next week. And this episode, we're going to be doing the Stegosaurs, and we're going to kick it right off with Miragaia, which I skipped last time, because I wasn't sure how I could actually buff it without making it too OP, so I decided, but then, now Ludia's just like completely disregarding their own rules for creatures, so I'm like, screw it, I'm doing it too. So we're gonna go back to the original style of Miragaia, except, did I boost your speed? I think I did. I think these are his original stats. Yeah, he did not have armor in the past. These are about the same abilities. This is lesser emergency heal, so that he only restores half his health instead of like full HP. I actually gave it a distraction resistance as well, and decelerating counter is still the same, but distraction resistance will come into play later when I talk about the rest of the Stegosaurs, but this is my attempt of like buffing Miragaia to its like original glory, but also making sure that it's not too powerful, because it's like 3000 HP. You get like a good Thor or a Mortem Rex, you can kill this thing in like one hit. And here are the rest of the Stegosaurs, along with a few extra ones. As you can see, Phil Swift and Among Us from the Dinosaur King commentaries. I've done them as well, but that's a video for another day. In the meantime, let's start with the common Stegosaurus, which is pretty simple, actually. Now, I have given the Stegosaurus a bit of an update. Like a lot of Stegosaurs that used to have resilient counterattack, I've removed that. Because I've decided that, like, I remember I did a video with Orca, and he did a little rant about how flocks are OP. And I was thinking, yeah, there should be something that needs to be like a dedicated flock counter. And since Bumpy Moloch is glitched and Ludia has yet to fix it, because as I said before, Bumpy Moloch is supposed to be the token flock counter, and it's not doing that because its abilities are broken, I might as well make my own Stegosauruses, and they will be the token, because it's like, hey, you have new Thagomizer, and as I've said in the past, it targets all opponents, reduce the speed by 50% for 2 turns, bypass armor, precise attack, deal an impact. So it's like, yeah, that can be a good counter. All I need to do is make it immune to distractions, and this will be the token flock counter. Yes. So if like Colhast comes in, this thing can just go for one fell swoop and then deal a load of damage to them, taking out multiple flocks at once. And that's basically my idea for all the Stegosaurs. Next is Stegosaurus. This one, I've made a bit of a decision here. If they do have a counterattack, then they will not be fully immune to distractions, because they can rack up damage easily. And again, same principle, new Thagomizer, precise rampage. I think he had precise impact, my rework Stegosaurus, but then I said, nah, so let's give it rampage instead. And I boosted your health, I think I boosted your health anyway. And I gave you, that's pretty much it. Those are all the changes I made for some of these don't really have too big of a change. I gave you a boost in damage, as well as new Thagomizer. I reworked Bellow just a little bit, so it works more like how the bosses use it. It cleanses all negative effects, and then reduces, all opponents get reduced speed. I feel like that's how it should be. Also, armor is the same, and immune to distractions, just like normal. I mean, just like all the Stegosaurs I've remade. I feel like this will be a very short episode, because there's not too much to show off. Because once I show off how Thagomizer works, all the others are just pretty normal, so this is going to be a shorter episode. Kentrosaurus, boosted in HP, speed is about the same. Resilient Strike is the same, Resilient Impact. These two can stay the same. I don't need to make you too powerful. You do have Decelerating Counter. Maybe I might boost your damage just a little bit to make you just a little bit better, but you know what, I'm okay with all this. This is all good. New Thagomizer, Decelerating Counter, Distraction Resistance, that seems like enough for me. And here's the one Stegosaur I made, Stegosaurus Gen 2. Obviously, I could add more Stegosauruses to the game, but it's like, wait, why don't I? I guess it's because the only one I really know anything about is Stegosaurus Gen 2. I did rework it. It now has superior vulnerability instead of Resilient Strike, to make it more separate from Woohoosaurus, as well as like better. I think these are the same stats as before. And then immune to distractions, and it's the same description as always. Stegosaurus Gen 2 is more solitary than its Gen 1 counterpart. Keep your distance while observing, as they are also quite territorial. And again, my reason for making a Stego Gen 2 instead of a brand new type of Stegosaur is because, one, I've learned that Stegosaurs are pretty small, except for Stegosaurus. And two, because I just really want a good Stegosaurus in the game. Stegosaurus is another dinosaur I really like. Now, who's next? Here's a brand new one, a recent addition. Peirce from Camp Cretaceous Season 4. I didn't give you any type of description. This is just a Kentrosaurus, so Actually, I think I made you, in exchange for a little bit of HP, gave you more attack and more speed. So, oh, and a crit chance for some reason. Okay. Your Resilient Strike, New Thagomizer, Group Decelerating Rampage. This is just meant to be like a super flock counter, so no matter what, this thing is going to just deal a lot of damage. Like an Argenteryx comes in, Peirce should be able to take care of them. I'm really hoping they do come up with something like this for other flocks, though. Like a group attacking creature for the epic tier anyway, because there's a lot for the legendary and the uniques, but not really for the epics. Do I have any others down here? Let's talk about Zungaya, because again, you're another one I skipped over because I was salty that I lost to you in a battle. And now I'm like, okay, I do need to give you a bit of a boost anyway. What did I give you? Ready to Crush, Emergency Heal, a Greater Emergency Heal, sorry, New Thagomizer, and Swap In Deceleration. I forgot. I think you just had Swap In Slow before, but I gave you this. And again, this is another example of just bad naming. This thing is supposed to like break shields, reduce speed. Why call it Swap In Deceleration? Why not call it Swap In Shattering Deceleration? Something like that. But they don't, because Ludia's bad at naming things now. Little bit of armor, and resistances. I think these are the same resistances you already have, but I just amped them up a little more. Next up, Carnotaurus, which is, another creature that's like really good, that used to be really good, but then Ludia sort of like ruined it a little bit. So what did I do for you? Immune to distractions, I believe that's important, so this thing is more effective against Cole Hast. Cleansing Strike, New Thagomizer, so that's going to be a precise damage and bypasses flocks, so then yeah. And that's going to deal like what? Only 1500? I think I should no, you have greater rending counter as well. I should want to keep your wildcard-esque abilities, so I think that's pretty much it. I don't want to do too much to Carnotaurus in case of breaking it, but I think that's like maybe a health boost, maybe an attack boost. Either way, I'll do... I think this is good for now, but maybe an attack boost in the future. Next up, Stegodeus, one of my favorite dinosaurs from the past, and got absolutely slaughtered in favor, because this was like one of the original anti-tanks that got changed to be a regular tank, and then when Mammoth came along, became an anti-tank tank, and then they decided, nah, you're only a tank, and now they're bringing in the bear. How long before that thing becomes just a tank? I give them like a year. No, sorry, I give them a few months before they change it. It's annoying. It really is annoying how they treat the tanks. They, instead of like making these guys an anti-tank tank again, they just make new anti-tank tanks. And I just like saying anti-tank tank because it's fun to say. Anti-tank tank. New Thagomizer, immune to distractions, and I gave you some resistances based on Nodapatosaurus' resistances, because apparently Nodapatosaurus does have resistances. Everything else is the same though, except for group taunt. Wait, I think you will. No, you had short defense. I gave you group taunting shields, as far as I'm aware. And I also removed the counterattack that I had on it before because I thought that was unnecessary. I don't know if you always had 1100 damage, but it's like, either way, you're not very good creature, and I want you to be good because you were one of my favorites. Should I mention this? Because this is technically a Stegosaurus hybrid, but I don't have a picture for you yet, so no, I can't. Let's stick to the ones we have. Stegophicaulus was like another one of the first hybrids I ever made. Let's see, Amphichion and Stegosaurus combined. And it makes like a resilient, fierce resilient, or should I say heavy creature. Because I feel like in January they're going to introduce a reclass, and fierce creatures are good. Fierce resilient is going to be heavy, cunning resilient is going to be determined, and cunning fierce is going to be daring. And I'm curious to see how that comes into the rebalance. Anyway, Group Cleansing Strike, Group Shattering Impact, New Thagomizer, Taunting Bellow, the updated one, No Escape because that gets that from the Wolf, and then not immune to distractions because I didn't want it to be too OP, Reduced Speed, Immunity, The armor plating on Anthagamizer make this canine a lot slower than most wolves, however, it gains more defensive and offensive abilities to protect its kills from rivals. And here's a picture of it. It's basically just a Stegosaurus with a wolf for a head, and it's covered in fuzz, because why not? And because it has multiple group abilities, this thing is definitely meant to be a Colhast counter, 100%. Though, I think you start off with New Thagamizer and then you just keep moving on abilities. Now, this ugly thing. Stegophicaulus, here's a picture. Oh my gosh, you're welcome. I've given you nightmares tonight. Group Cleansing Strike, New Thagamizer, Group Shattering Impact, oh, the same abilities, except instead of Bellow, Revenge, Nullifying Rampage, it also has Swap in Distraction, and No Escape it still has, and now it is fully immune to distractions and has even more basic damage. And more speed, and a critical chance. Holy smokes, this thing might be too OP. The amphibious DNA from Diplodocus allows this super hybrid to swim greater distances than the average canine. The armored plates are curved back to increase its streamlined figure while swimming. Hold on, I'm so thirsty. I need water later. Anyway, I think I like this description a lot better than most of my other armor descriptions where just like, this creature has a lot of armor or whatever. I was pretty lazy on those. I need to rework those. And I think there is only one left because everything else does not have a painting. I did not draw it yet. And it's one of my first Apexes, Stego Reaper. And it hasn't gone through a change. I think it's gone through a bit of a change. Yeah, I gave you Taunting Resilient Group Impact to be a better Colhast counter. And a better Flock counter. This thing is meant to, like, if someone comes in with Kentrosaurus, this is the guy you want to go for. Except he's not immune to distractions, only 75% resistance. In fact, he is immune to stun and crit reduction. What is your critical chance? 5? Okay, that's not too big a deal. And 75% speed reduction. Not the greatest resistances in the world, but it is immune to stun, and it has distraction and deceleration resistances, which are important. Other than that, it actually has some... I think it has the same stats as Sarah Magnus, except more armor. I didn't realize that. Huh. Should I change that in the future? Maybe I will. Instead of 4 tail spikes, the Stego Reaper only has 2, but they grow to a massive size and form the shape of a scythe. Once again, Stego Reaper is based off of Soul Eater's Grim Reaper, which is like just a really funny version of the Reaper. And I just thought, hey, I think what my thought process was, what if I took the crazy scythe and put it on a Stegosaurus? How would that look like? And I just ended up with a Stegosaurus, a Halloween-esque Stegosaurus, and I'm releasing it on Christmas. You're welcome. And that is it. Those are all the Stegosaurs. Mirror Guy is not here because he does not have New Thagamizer. And there's also a quick look at like some future hybrids, as well as something that I covered in like another video already. And that is pretty much all for this episode, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. It should be the deer. Okay, bye.